Hello, I'm Stephanie Smith. I'm currently doing my Master's in Disaster and Emergency Management at Royal Roads University. I'm conducting an interview on heat waves. How do you think heat waves impact the general public?
Heat waves have affected the public since time began, but we've only started really monitoring things over the last 20 years. Probably the worst case we know in recent history within the last 10 years was in Europe, when we lost between 10 and 15,000 people, mostly elderly people. That was not an isolated event. That was just an event that we happened to record. People across the world die on a daily basis from heat stroke, heat exhaustion.
Forces a lot of people to stay indoors, or forces them to find air-conditioned areas if their own homes are not air-conditioned. So it kind of limits what normal activity.
Well, obviously with heat waves, you can't do a lot of the activities that you would like to be doing. You have to watch how long you're outside, what you're doing, that you're hydrating yourself, that you're actually prepared. So in a lot of ways, I think it restricts people.
Well, global warming and the heat these days can affect anyone, especially during the summer times and stuff like that. So the warmer our climate gets, I think everyone's going to be affected.
And how have you been affected by heat waves in the past?
Really affects my golf game. It's really warm in summertime. Summer activities, although it's good for people doing recreational sports, it's important for health when it comes to monitoring the water intake and taking appropriate rest cycles and stuff like that. So.
And what do you do to protect yourself?
Having an awareness is the first step. I mean, I know that it's going to be really hot outside. You hydrate, you wear clothing, things like sunscreen, just all the basic things that you would normally do just to protect yourself.
I think I try and take it easy, not exert myself too much during the peak hours. You know, if I'm going to go outside, try to do it early in the morning or late at night, and just generally try and keep cool.
Do you think there's a certain population within the general public that is more vulnerable to heat waves than others?
Oh, there's definitely people that are more vulnerable. In general, the three ways that you are susceptible to heat illness, so we go from heat illness, heat exhaustion to heat stroke. So you're either having too much heat produced, or you're not being able to get rid of the heat, or you can't move from the heat. So in the general public, our main difficulties are with children, young children, especially infants, and geriatric population, which is the population that is most at risk, the ones that died in mass, thousands and thousands in Europe within the last 10 years. They can't, young people and elderly people can't dissipate their heat very well, so they're extremely susceptible. Infants are even more susceptible because they can't move themselves out of the heat. Thus, every day you'll hear on the news, even now that we are in a heat wave this summer, of children being left in their car while a parent has gone shopping and come back, and the infant is near death.
Elderly and the youth are more susceptible to heat, although it affects everybody, especially the middle-aged who are working outside. But for sure, you have to pay attention to the youth for sure, because of they're so active and not typically getting enough water when it comes to outdoor activities. And elderly, the elderly the same way. It affects them quite different than the average healthy adult.
Do you think this affects people's well-being as well, just general well-being?
For sure, because it may sort of set people back in the activities that they do participate in. So they may be more prone to doing less, which in turn affects the healthy living. So.